I'm Kim Shea. Today I'd like to talk about disenfranchised grief. Disenfranchised grief may apply to you as a caregiver. What it refers to is a grief process that's a little bit different for somebody who is not a member of the family or is not related to the person who's just passed away. You may have been caring for somebody for a couple of years now, for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but you're not a member of the family. Perhaps you've been hired, or perhaps you are a friend who's been very special to that person. You've taken care of them. When the person dies, society in general tends to respond more to the loss of the family or the spouse. If you are not in that category, you have disenfranchised grief. It means that you have a period of mourning and a period of loss and sadness that it may be very intense for you, but it's not something that society is going to look at and respect in the same way that they do for members of the family. This is just a fact. It's just the way it is. But you need to take care of yourself, and you need to baby yourself in the same way that somebody else who's going through this process may be being babied and cared for by the larger community, but you aren't. So you need to take some steps. First of all, you want to make sure you let people in your world know what you're going through. Let them know the loss that you've been through. And hopefully you've been bringing people along on that whole journey with you, letting them know the frustrations that you're dealing with as a caregiver, the sadness that you feel at the impending loss of the person you've been caring for. And then when it actually happens, you let them know what happened to you, what you're going through, why you're not your usual self, why you are maybe withdrawing from activities even more than you did when you're a caregiver, why you're not hungry, why you don't feel like getting out of bed in the morning. Let people know what's going on with you. And it may be frustrating to see that the family is getting more public acknowledgement of their loss. You're seeing they get flowers, you're seeing they're getting cards at any kind of memorial services. You may see that their family's really focusing, society and the friends are focusing on the family or the spouse and not on you. And that can be hurtful because you know what you've done and you know what you meant to that person that you were caring for. But you need to accept that this disenfranchised grief is just a part of your situation. At some point, everything evens out. At some point, the people who are the family members and you are all on the same page. You're all trying to work through your grief. The disenfranchised grief is the most raw immediately after the loss. But at some point, after services have happened, any memorials, most people go back to their lives. That's just the way it works. And you, whether you were a family member or a hired caregiver, you need to figure out the mourning process on your own. That means the same things for you as it would for somebody who's a member of a family. You take care of yourself. You don't make major decisions that might be rashly acted upon. You need to take some time to go through the grieving process. If you can, maybe you want to get back into another caregiving situation because you realize there's somebody else out there who needs you, or you may feel like, I don't want to do this again, I'm done. And that's okay too. You can reach that point too, and you can figure out, now what am I going to do to reinvent myself? But you don't want to do anything crazy if the grief is particularly hard for you. You want to work through that. Now is the time where you don't have an excuse anymore. You want to exercise, you want to go for walks, you want to eat properly, you want to explore any spiritual comfort that might be of help to you, and you want to get involved with life again. You want to get involved with friends and family. This is true for anybody going through the grieving process, whether it's regular grief or disenfranchised grief. But for you, with disenfranchised grief, you want to make sure you take those same steps as somebody else would and work through the process until you start to heal. The other good news is that you will heal. It almost seems cruel at a time when you realize you're starting to get a little bit better. You don't cry as much anymore. You're starting to feel a little bit more interested in things again. It almost feels disloyal, like you shouldn't do this. You should still be sad every day. You should still be crying at the drop of a hat. But that isn't the way life works. And it's not supposed to. You want to get better. You want to. And because the person wants you to, the person that you took care of wants you to go out, wants you to live again, figure out what is going to make you happy, because it's your turn now. It's your turn to go do these things. So if you're suffering from disenfranchised grief, you want to hang in there and give yourself the time that you need to recover. Baby yourself, be good to yourself. That's what the person you just lost would want from you. And eventually, life will get better and you will find some joy in life, some things that make you smile. That's what you're supposed to do. Thank you so much for everything that you do for your caregiving. You have made the world a better place every day you have. And the person that has left you loves you and is grateful to you for what you've done, because what you did was huge. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again soon. My name is Kim Shea. If you have any comments, you can leave them down below here. You can also reach me at sheacompanions.com. You can go onto my website and you can write to me there. I love to hear from people. Thank you.